Hey everybody, Taylor with KC here, and in this video, we're gonna be doing an install guide for how to connect lights or other accessories to the factory Ford Upfitter auxiliary switch system. It's actually really easy. It's a really nice thing. It doesn't come on all Ford vehicles, but it's an aftermarket, or it's not an aftermarket, but it's an optional equipment for Ford Bronco, Super Duties, F-150s, all that kind of stuff. It's really nice because it provides switches inside of the cab of the vehicle, making it really easy to wire up lights or compressors or anything like that to it without having to run actual mess of wires all the way through the firewall into the cab of the vehicle. So pretty quick, pretty easy. It's a couple little things involved with it to make it kind of the cleanest setup possible. So let's take a quick look at what we would do to connect just a standard 2-light harness to the Ford Upfitter switches. So what we would typically begin with is separating out our wiring harness that we include with all of our pair packs of lights. This would come with our Pro 6s, our slim lights, our halogens, all that kind of stuff, right? So you have one end that has two 2-pin DT connectors. That is for the light itself. You want to keep all this. This side you are using. Then you have another side of the harness that has black, red, yellow with the switch. This is all the stuff that you get to cut out. We're not going to actually use any of this stuff with the Ford Upfitter system. Then, dead in the center, you can see right where everything would typically get connected to power and ground, but this is right where we're gonna make a lot of the cuts here. So in order to make this system work, all you need to provide to the lights, which is what the Ford Upfitter switch system is doing, is power. That's it. There's a couple of pre-cut and heat shrunk wires underneath the hood of the vehicle here, kind of by the battery.
Hey everyone, Jacob here. Quick editor's note. So we actually found out after filming this, there's multiple outlet points on the Ford Bronco for the Upfitter system to connect additional accessories like light bars and whatever, leading to certain points throughout the car. Here's a diagram here. Full link is in the description of the article from Bronco Nation. Yeah, go give that a read. But yeah, till then, hopefully no more editor's notes. See you guys.
And really you just have to connect your power to that, and then you have to ground your lights as well. So what I would do is I would just find this little junction right here of all of our lights, snip this red wire, just with enough extra room so that we can get to it. Then you'll see the black, the ground side, has a ring terminal already on it, and then another joint where that's gonna go out to the switch that we include, the physical switch. But again, because we're not using that, we get to just cut all of that off. And so now, all this stuff, we're done with. We're not gonna use that. This is all that we need right here. This is already ring terminaled out, so you can connect this to the ground on your vehicle. Done, you're done with ground. So now that leaves your power. All you have to do is connect this wire to the wire for the appropriate switch for the Upfitter. Now there's 6 different auxiliary circuits.
Jacob here again, accidentally gave Taylor the wrong sheet. Every vehicle has different wires, so the diagram varies slightly. Here's the Ford Bronco's diagram.
Really, just to make this connection, you can kind of do it a bunch of different ways. You can butt splice right to it. You can make it pretty quick and easy like that. But what we're actually gonna do, what I kind of recommend doing, is doing quick disconnect spade terminals, a male and a female. So that way, if you ever had to pull the wiring harness out, you actually can do that without having to cut everything else apart, and then you can put a different harness on that. So with that being said, we have our red right here. So I'm gonna take our stripper and just get a little bit off of that. Go ahead and get our heat shrink on here. Just something nice that's a little bit long of a heat shrink. So just gonna snip a little bit extra there. Now we've got a nice system. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the male side onto the lights, and then always try to standardize the female side onto the harness that comes out of the Ford Upfitter system. So go ahead and get the male side into position right here. Oh, that's female. Grab the male side. Grab our crimpers. Get it right into position where we want it. And crimp that on. So now the light side is done. We have all this, and we have to go wire it up to the lights from there. So now we'll grab the heat shrink gun and we'll heat shrink this nice and clean, so it's a real nice connection. Then the next step is to get the female blade of the spade connector onto the vehicle, plug everything in, and that's it. You're simple, it's done. The reason why we like to use these is because they're insulated, so that way you can see there's no exposed metal around here anywhere. And really, that's just a safety precaution. If this thing's bouncing around underneath the hood of that vehicle, it's not gonna be making connections with other stuff and sparking, burning up, anything like that. So that's why we like to use something a little bit nicer like that that has it all nice and protected. So now that I got this side done, just gonna hop underneath the vehicle, find the wire that I need to connect these lights to, crimp this thing on, and call it good. When you're looking at the Ford Bronco, it's actually really easy to gain access to those 6 wire leads. Bronco made it really quick and easy to access those. But if you're working on a Ford F-250 or something like that, it's a little bit harder to access those and to actually find them. They're real tucked up underneath one of the fuse panels inside of the big engine bay over on the passenger side of the Super Duty. So really grateful here to be working on the Bronco to show this off. So right here is where you can see where those wires kind of came out. And really easy access to all 6 of those different color leads. You can see what they kind of look like right here. We've already done a few different installs on our Bronco, so you can see we've got some of them used, 3 of them, but then we also have 3 that are still not being used. So they came with just some really nice heat shrink on it, just to seal up that end nicely and neatly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just give ourselves a little bit more access to this brown one for switch number 4, and we're gonna cut this off right here. And then that's exactly where we are going to install our other end of the spade connector. The only other thing really I think to note here is that switches number 1 and 2 use a little bit of a thicker wire because it's handling a little bit more current in it. Switches 3, 4, 5, and 6 all use a smaller wire. So you just want to be cognizant of that as you are going to find the proper size blade or spade terminal. So next up, we're going to cut this thing off. So done with that thing. Then I always like to slip some heat shrink on first. Looks like actually a decent cut there. Then I got to go grab my wire strippers, strip just a little bit off there, and then go ahead and crimp on the male end or female end of my terminal. And then, so now we've got our raw wire. I don't know if you can see that if my hand's in the way. Just gonna clean up that copper strand under there. And it's gonna look like that when it's all said and done. Just gotta crimp that thing on and we're good to go. Okay, we have that. Slide our heat shrink back into position and grab the gun and then heat her on up. Get that nice little weather tight seal and connect our lights to it, and then you're good to go. So with that, that's pretty much everything that you need to know in order to connect lights or other auxiliary things to your factory upfitter kit on your Ford. Pretty quick, pretty easy. If you have any questions about it, once again, let us know, leave us any questions in the comment section below. With that, thank you all for tuning in. Really hope this video was helpful. Really awesome feature here on the Fords. Thanks everybody, and remember to adventure further. Cool. That's it.
Good job.
I love these fucking upfitter things.